Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys today? Welcome to the Shift Your Money Mindset to create a life that you guys desire today. I'm going to pop in my website here while we're waiting for everybody to get on. www.investinyourselfcourse.com. That's what we're going to be chatting about today. So I just want to welcome you all here. Whether you're here live or listening to the replay, I'm congratulating each and every one of you guys for showing up. And I'm very excited to interact with you guys today. Today, we're going to be talking about the difference between expectations and standards, okay? Because it has been very near and dear to me the last little while, and it was definitely a very big learning curve for me in my life, period. So that's what we're going to be chatting about today. Yes, so I'll give you guys a few minutes to hop on. And while we're waiting for other people to hop on, let's recap a few events in my life, just so I can open up my life to you guys and share a few things with you guys. So this is the book that I'm going to be giving away today, The War of Art. And if you happen to win whatever quiz it is that I'm going to give to you guys later on, and you already got this book, let me know and I'll send you another just as impactful book. But the reason why I'm going to be gifting this book today is because I was at an outing yesterday. I'm involved in a direct sales group for some facial products that are all natural. I love to use. I love the community and I absolutely love the people. So I was at a get-together last night to hear some amazing speakers, really successful women entrepreneurs. And there was a few ladies there who had received some books from previous webinars. And they were passing around this book. And I was like, all right, noted. I will gift this specific book today to y'all. It is a really powerful book, and I'm just gonna just flip it through here. It's not a very hard read, long read, anything like that. So if you're not a reader, all good. It's very quick. I read it in about a day. I'm a slow reader, and like put all the hours together, it was about a day. I read it over 2 days, but I'm a slow reader. However, it's very rare that I can pick up a book and not stop until it's done. And this was one of those books. This book is all about breaking through the blocks to win your inner creative battles. This is all about experiencing, what do you do with resistance? What is resistance? Which area of your life are you experiencing resistance? What is ego? And how is ego keeping you small? And how to break past fear and maybe a new way to look at fear. Rather than fear as being something to overcome, look at fear as your guide, okay? Kind of like your flashlight. So I'm gonna begin right away, and I'm just going to double check let me know, guys, whoever is on the line right now. I know that we have a lot watching through YouTube, not necessarily on the webcasts, but the cool thing is that if you guys listen while you're on the webcast, you get to interact with me and you get coaching and so on and so forth. So if you guys are listening through the YouTube's like live stream and you want to get your questions answered, then definitely click on the registration and go ahead and register. Not only that, you get emailed the replays, and that's pretty cool. That's a pretty sweet deal. So if you guys are feeling brave, pop in your email address and let me know that things are working for you. And I really hope that the chat box is working, because it's been a few times where it hasn't. Whatever, I'm not gonna let that stop me. If you guys are watching and you can't chat in there, I have my messenger open right now, so message me via Facebook, okay? Now, today we're going to be talking about standards and expectations. Okay. I'm going to share with you guys a little experience that I had recently in my life that really created that awareness, kind of like helped me realize how important expectations and standards really are, and knowing the difference. Hi, Mark. Thank you. Welcome. Okay, it's working. Knowing the difference, that's really key. Now, and this is why. In your life, you're going to experience different energies, right? And that's going to directly affect your business, right? I've heard so many times when I'm doing corporate coaching, whatever the case is, my life has nothing to do with my corporate job. And I'm here to call you out a little bit if that's what you're thinking, because what you feel is what you vibrate, right? And wherever you go, you're vibrating that. So when you walk into the job, and we're specifically talking about entrepreneurs today. So whether you're, if you're owning your own business, it's definitely absolutely directly related to your personal life, right? So in your business is a direct reflection of your energy, okay? So your job is to feel good, period. Just feel good. That's challenging, am I right? I get it. I know. Today is a little bit challenging for me. I have both the kids home, and I'm like, my standard is that I'm going to be consistent. I am consistent. I am consistent with my daily posts, my daily connections. I'm consistent with my, my coaching groups. I am consistent with these webinars, and I'm consistent with my radio shows. And, but more consistent with these webinars. I've made, set a standard for myself that I am going to show up every single week and present a webinar and so on and so forth. Whether there's technical difficulties or not, I'm gonna push through those technical difficulties and show up anyways. So my little men are home today, and I've set them up doing projects type thing. So you might hear some voices in the background. All good. That's the beauty of being real. And yeah, so despite that, I'm just looking at my notes here. I got a lot to cover with you guys today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start the presentation. Remember, wait for it. Try to stay on until the end. The War of Art, that is going to be gifted to somebody today. I do have a new registration code. I got quite a few people who saw that and re-registered, but there are a few of you guys who aren't. So if you're watching this through YouTube, the replay, whatever the case is, there is a new registration code. You got to go and click on that, re-register. It'll take you about 2 or 3 seconds, and then you guys will get the emails every week again. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start screen sharing. So this is something that I share with you guys every single week, and that is, in order to get the most out of these webinars each week, okay, these are free webinars. This is free coaching, free content, and in order to get the most out of them, I really invite you guys to be present. Turn off your cell phones, relax your body, get your notepad and paper out, and take notes and ask questions. 90% of success is showing up. When you show up, you never know what you're going to see. You never know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to hear. It may make that impact that you've been waiting for in your business or in your life. So this is your free money mindset makeover webinar training. And this is the last one in June. Can you guys believe it? July next month. Wow, tomorrow. Today, you guys are going to find out the difference between expectations and standards. Knowing this will make a shift in your business and in your life. And you guys are probably sitting there going, yeah, I pretty much know. all good. You might hear another part of it that may make that impact in your business. So as you know, I always go through my Invest in Yourself course, and that is, it's been featured on local news stations, radio stations. I actually had a call from somebody this week interested in the program. She's been following me since she saw the program, the Empowering Kids program on CTV last year, over a year ago. So that's pretty cool. That is the power of media, man. And I'm also the creator of the Empowering Kids program, like I just mentioned. And this is just a beautiful picture that I'm totally going to keep up. That we host field trips as well as our nature camp. And this is our property that we run the nature camps out of. And this little lady over here is the forest school teacher. This is Tracy McDowell, and she runs the forest school aspect of the program. And I run, hello, there I am. I run the Empowering Kids part, basically helping kids tap into their passions, getting them comfortable vocalizing whatever it is that they're passionate about, and doing more of it, and creating the confidence and belief behind being able to do it in their lifetime, and opening them up to new possibilities, right? Also, we get them to tap into their creativity, and that I think is huge, because that kids are so familiar with, but the older we get, the more it's conditioned out of us, right? So we have 2 weeks running in the summer, August 15th and 22nd. We scaled it back a little bit this year, but there is still room in August 15th. So if you guys are wanting something really unique, this camp is actually unique to Winnipeg. There's no other camp like it in Winnipeg. So get your kids enrolled today. You will keep coming back, trust me. And I'm the creator of Shift Your Money Mindset, the Invest in Yourself course online program. Shift your money mindset to create the freedom that you guys deserve today. So here's the thing. I go to many networking events. I go to many, I love networking. I love meeting new people. I love getting around people, like-minded people, as often as I possibly can. And yesterday I was at an event for Nucerity. Okay, Nucerity is like is a company, and I love the environment. I love the people, and I love the product. I use it. I love it. I use it. It's all natural. You just Google it. You guys will get a lot of information, or you can connect with me personally as well. However, this is why shifting your money mindset is so near and dear to me. There are so many people, and it just in the wording, the subconscious wording that they use. I can't afford it. I have no time. Laughing at the cost of something, or I hear people saying things like, "Oh, that's such a ripoff," and so on and so forth. I even hear my kids saying that, and I think to myself, why are you saying that? These are all like deep-rooted, unconscious beliefs that we have, or that many people still have, that are preventing them from reaching their financial potential, really, and they don't even know it, right? So although I was at this amazing, empowering event yesterday, I heard so many people using these phrases and not even knowing that it's limiting them, So that's something that I really wanted to bring to the surface today, and let you guys all know, on top of expectations and standards, okay? So we're going to be talking about those 4-letter words that do carry energy. On top of the Invest in Yourself and Empowering Kids program, I also run a radio show. So I had a radio show this morning, and it was all about screen addiction, and how to get your kids off of screen addiction. It was a lot of cool information there. So if you missed it, go check it out. And you can find that blogtalkradio.com, Tanya Clarke-Marinelli 2. I'm also on iTunes, so you guys can download all the previous episodes and listen at your leisure. I do some signature talks. Overcoming negative self-talk. In this signature talk, I also talk to people about, those 4-letter words that I just mentioned a minute ago. Being aware of the unconscious thoughts that you have that you don't even know that you have, and how to create new ones, okay? We're only conscious about 5, some people say 10% of, of our thoughts, and the rest are unconscious. That's pretty powerful, man. If 95, even 90% of your thoughts you're not even aware of, that's literally running your life. Those subconscious thoughts that you don't even know about are literally running your life. And those little phrases that you say here and there are indications of what subconsciously you really, like what's really going on in your brain, okay? So this talk is huge, not just for business, but for life in general. This talk is basically modified for children, that when I do workshops locally, it's modified in a way that children get it, adolescents get it, women get it, you name it, okay? And it's so important to change our thoughts. Like Wayne Dyer says, right? Change your thoughts, change your life, period. It's so simple, so easy, yet we just got to be aware of it. So many of us just really aren't aware of it. Also, the importance of emotional intelligence for your child's success. That's another signature talk that I do that I'll be offering this year again as one of the fundraising events for the Empowering Kids Alternative Learning Center that we're opening. Like I said, I do workshops. I've done fly-in reservations and worked with kids on reservations. I even work with kids in the schools, in high schools, you name it. I was a Manitoba mentor because I'm Aboriginal. I talk to Aboriginal adolescents about being an Aboriginal entrepreneur and how you can do it and how they can do it. And I teach adults how to start their business, get going and start making money, and show them exactly step by step how I do it. Why not teach this to adolescents, right? Give them a head start in that belief system of theirs. So here's my why, okay? Previous webinars I've shared with you guys, money is a tool. I view money as a tool. And, I've combined my passions and understanding that money is simply energy and that money is simply a tool to create experiences that really generate happiness in my life, okay? And over here you see me and my son making duck lips. That's our little selfie. But we're having lunch in the exchange. This kid is my homeschooler, and we're having lunch, and, we're taking a little bit of a break. We're exploring the city, and we're having lunch together, and we're just being together while we're schooling. There's no rules that say that we got to homeschool sitting in our living room or at our kitchen table. No. We travel the city, and it's very cool because this kid, asking questions, picked himself up a little job. He, the cafe that we went to, he asked the gentleman if he could pick up his recycling because they don't have much support with the recycling, and he's very earthy, so he asked if he could pick up, come take the bus down there, pick up the recycling once a week, save it, bring the cans in, whatever the case is, and and so now he's creating relationships and being a responsible member of society, you know what I mean, while honoring his independence. So that's something that I have the capability of doing, is honoring his, his drive. So, and here we are creating intentions on the new moon, burning paper, releasing things that no longer serve us. That's something that I'm able to do with my kids. And this is my favorite, world schooling, traveling and learning different cultures and schooling. And without this business and without generating an income, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. I'd have to get a 9-to-5, right? And this is my daughter. Okay, so my daughter is going to be 21. And I'm going to tell you, I was pregnant at 17. I had her at 18. I was never able to afford anything extravagant for her. So now I'm able to take my daughter out on mother-daughter days. We go do a little bit of shopping, whatever it is that we're going to do that day. We always go for lunch. Sometimes we'll go for breakfast, go out for a bit, and then do lunch. Sometimes we'll go for a pedicure. But the point is that I can do this stress-free and enjoy my time with my daughter and nurture that bond and attachment, okay? Otherwise, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And the cool thing about this is that it is stress-free. It is stress-free. This is literally in my budget. Hey, Sierra, what are you doing? Okay, this is what we're going to do today. This is what we're going to do today. And we just get to literally enjoy each other's company. And I think that that's pretty cool. So these are all my children. And again, that is us, Mother's Day. They're with me. I'm home. I'm able to be with them. You know, I was able to buy a king-size bed so they could all really snuggle in bed with me. That was the purpose for me buying that king-size bed, so they could fit in there and we could bond. But again, before I made this decision to make money my number one and in doing what I was passionate doing, I couldn't afford a king-size bed. I mean, it sounds so silly, but it's like, it's the root for all of my happiness. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the awesome side effects. So I'm just gonna go over here. I'm late. Okay. No problem, Jamie. So thank you everybody for joining me. I see we got a ton of viewers on now. Yeah, so cool. Type in your name, where are you from? And just to let you guys know, if you tuned in late, this is the book I'm giving away today. I was just sharing with you guys that, I don't know what time you guys logged in, but I was just sharing with you guys that we have so many phrases and habits of saying certain things that are really limiting us from experiencing financial success and understanding that money is a tool. I view money as a tool, and I'm going to invite you just to suspend all of your disbeliefs around that and enjoy the rest of this webinar, you know, as if you viewed money as a tool and money as simply being energy. You're just going to exchange that energy for another energy, whatever service it is that you provide, okay? So I invite you to do that just for today. I'm just going to check my messages to see if anybody's on here. Looks like you guys are all on the webinar. And I have some requests, but I don't know how to check them. So if you guys have any feedback, hop on over and private message me via Facebook. Hi, Monica. Thank you for coming. Absolutely, right? Isn't that amazing? Money is just freaking simply energy. And the sooner we create that belief, the better things are going to be. Carrie, money is energy. Oh, sorry. I mixed your names up. Yes, Carrie, money is energy. Love that. Awesome. Monica, hey, Tanya, great to see you again. Great to see you again, Miss Monica. I saw Monica last night. It was so cool to connect with you, Monica. You scooched out on me early though. I didn't get to hug you goodbye, but that's okay. I'll forgive you. Now, I was talking to somebody the other day and I totally lost my thought, so I'll come back to that. Okay, expectations and standards, guys. I gotta share this with you. So I'm gonna go through my little tiny PowerPoint and then I'm gonna come back and I'm really gonna talk to you guys about it. I'm gonna share with you guys a couple of personal experiences and how this is really, really important for the energy behind your business, okay? The energy that's going to drive you. 1 second, yeah. Uh-oh. Present to everyone, and you should be seeing that now. All right. Expectation. The definition of expectation, a belief that someone will or should achieve something, right? So it's basically believing that somebody should be doing something, right? Should be doing something or shouldn't be doing something. And like I said, I have my little ones here today, so you might hear me squirrel a bit. Standard, a level of quality or attainment, okay? So here's expectation again. I went on the internet and I'm like, okay, what does the internet have to say about expectation? I know my perception of expectation, but what does the internet have to say about it? And I researched some speakers and things like that. So expectation is the root of all heartache. Ouch. And that's Shakespeare, man. Peace begins when expectation ends. Huh, interesting. When you stop expecting people to be perfect, you can like them for who they are. Interesting. And here's standards, okay? Raise your standards. Raise your standards to create change, okay? The way you treat yourself sets the standards for others. Hence, healthy boundaries, right? So here's my story with expectations and standards. So, oh gosh, I was at Toastmasters this morning and I'm like, I love Toastmasters. I go there, I get a little pick-me-up, you know what I mean? Like the energy is so high. This morning, there was a shift in energies. It was a really kind of mellow energy, kind of rainy, cloudy energy, right? And there were a lot of like serious talks being made. And they were sad, a lot of emotion. And I was the grammarian, so I came in with the word and I said, well, I'm doing this amazing webinar today. So I brought in expectation, right? And the definition of expectation. And as I was thinking about it, I was like, God, I expected to come in here and be lifted up. You know what I mean? I'm a little disappointed. So I kind of got it, right? Get the pun. And yeah, so, but the point was that they were so vulnerable. They were so vulnerable in their stories. There was so much emotion, and literally, I felt like I instantly connected with them. I instantly connected with them. So I'm going to take their lead and I'm going to become vulnerable with you. Jamie, you couldn't make it. You should have been there, man. I'm going to be vulnerable with you guys. So when I was married, I think part of the reason for our fallout in the marriage was that I expected him to be this way and this way and this way, right? I expected this of him. And because he didn't follow through and he didn't do what I thought he should be doing, I was constantly disappointed, constantly disappointed, constantly disappointed. And I even had this like sense of entitlement in the marriage, okay? And that sense of entitlement, if you guys recognize that you feel that in certain areas, get rid of it. Do something, get rid of it, okay? So I did. I had these expectations and he wasn't meeting my expectations. And I was like, God, this sucks. But here's the thing. He constantly felt, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I don't feel good enough. I can't do anything right. I can't do anything right. So you can imagine how that would sour a relationship, right? So finding out more about, expectations after we had already decided, other things, of course, not just this, but other things played a huge part in our separation as well. So after finding this out, because I took many courses trying to figure this out on my own, right? I found that it went to the degree of not expecting anything from anyone, especially even your children, right? Even your children, even your parents, when you're younger, when you're a child, expecting things from your parents, right? So my experience with expectation was that, oh, I see how that soured relationships, because I expected something and then I vocalized, listen, you're not following through here. You're not doing what a partner should be doing, right? You see how you're shoulding on everybody, shoulding on yourself even, right? You're not doing what you should be doing in a relationship, period. Or you place that you're not good enough you're not good enough expectation on your children. So in the past, when I do parenting coaching, kids coaching, you name it, I always talk about, okay, my son's going to the park. I always talk about, I every single day, I strive not to expect things from my children, right? Not to expect things from my children. Because then I'm setting myself up for disappointment, and here I am placing I don't feel good enough on my children. Parents do this because they want to protect their kids and they want the best for their kids. But that's how I found out. And by this time, when I found this out, my daughter's already 16, 18 years old. I'm like, oh shit. Part of, a big reason for her not feeling good enough is me placing expectation on her and her not being able to follow through. And then I'm disappointed in her. Does anybody relate to this? Can anybody relate to this? And the reason why this is so important is that we have certain expectations in our business, right? And then we experience disappointment and so on and so forth. And not only that, like I was saying at the beginning, is that your business is a direct reflection of your energy. Okay, Jamie, yeah. Your business is a direct reflection of your energy. So if you're constantly disappointed, what's your energy vibrating at, right? So this is a key point, yes, in your life, but yes, for your business, right? For your business. Otherwise, you're going to have contradicting energies. So every day, I strive not to expect certain things from my children, okay? Rather than have constant conversations, tapping into empathy, and things like that. So, and no expectations from my partner. Maybe you're going to be like, yeah, but I don't expect him to cheat on me. I don't expect him to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that. Well, if there's a certain understanding, right, and you have certain standards, then those are the people that you're going to choose to be with. Does that make sense? Rather than wanting to be with somebody and expecting them to reach your standards. Does that make sense to everybody? Say yes. Say yes or no, because this is a tough one for people. So that's why I want to spend a little bit of time on it. This was a tough one for me. So if your standard is that they're going to be faithful and blah, 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 Carrie, yes, awesome. They're going to be faithful and blah, 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 blah. Then that is the type of person that you choose, okay? Here's what I discovered in relationships because, hey, man, I had a failed marriage. I'm going to research relationships and how to have successful relationships. Monica, you betcha. Awesome. So here's what I found is that you don't place expectations on your partner. You know what it is that you want. When you meet a person, you spend some time discovering whether or not your energies kind of match up, okay? When you hook up with someone and you have the thought of, yeah, but yes, this is good enough. I really like him. But it'll be better when. It'll be better when he generates this income. It'll be better when he dresses better. It'll be better when, whatever the case is. when you can conform him or her or whatever. That doesn't work. That you're setting yourself up for a failed, disappointing relationship, period. The relationships that work out are the ones where you walk in and go, I accept you for who you are, the way you are. Let's make this work. Does that make sense to everybody? And that's key. That is freaking key in successful relationships, okay? Because here's the thing. My ex-husband was owned a construction company. He worked 7 days a week. And my belief was that it'll be better when he doesn't work so much. It'll be better when he doesn't work so much. It'll be better when he's home more. It'll be better when blah, 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 blah. Okay? I didn't love him any less. But these are the things that I wanted in a relationship, right? And guess what? I placed those expectations on him, right? And he couldn't follow through because I didn't accept him for who he was, the way he was, right? So there's my piece of vulnerability for you guys. Almost brought tears to my eyes reflecting, but it is what it is, okay? And everything, I believe, happens for a reason. Anyhow, so I strive. That is my daily goal, is don't expect anything from anyone. Instead, let's focus on standards, okay? So I'm going to hop back on over here. And while I'm hopping over here, guys, go ahead and type in any questions or comments that you guys have. Okay. Ugh. Michael Jordan's. Did you guys ever hear of Michael Jordan's experience with standards? I wrote it down and I didn't, I don't know where it is. Huh? So Monica, great lesson. Awesome. So Michael Jordan's experience with standards. Tony Robbins goes up to him and goes, hey, how do you do it? How are you so freaking good? How are you so amazing at this sport? And he's like, here's the secret. I don't strive to be better than that person or that person. I strive to be better than who I was yesterday. So he raises his standards. And Tony Robbins always says, you want to be successful? You raise your standards. You raise your standards, raise your standards. Okay? And so raise your standards. I'm inviting you guys to raise your standards. And that's exactly what I did. So I experienced another challenging situation this week. And that was this. I hired a virtual assistant, been working with me for a little while, but I was constantly, I guess I would give him tasks and they wouldn't be done or whatever the case was. I'm not even going to get into specifics. It was really challenging for me, but I let him go and I went for someone. I don't want to change this person. I don't want to change anybody. Okay. I don't want to change anybody. And if things weren't working, if our energies just weren't, if we weren't a good fit, I wanted to respect him, not, whatever the case is, move on until I find somebody who is going to, be what it is that I need, right? Who is going to fit well with me rather than create a lot of toxic energy around it. So that was really challenging lesson for me. Here's another example of standards. Here is why the Empowering Kids Alternative Learning Center is being opened September 2017 and why I'm working my ass off to make it happen. Because I can't walk into a school and say, this is who you should be. This is what you should be doing. This is what kids need, and so on and so forth. That's not my job, okay? They're just as passionate. This is their belief. And that school is going to serve a lot of people, okay? A lot of kids. So I went ahead and I said, I can't find anything that meets my standards for care other than me schooling my kids. And I'm like, screw this. This can't be, either I'm not looking in the right place or screw it, I'm just gonna make it. I'm just gonna create it. And that's exactly what I did. I created the Empowering Kids program because there was nothing out there that was based on emotional intelligence. It was all based on academic and then maybe some emotional intelligence. But my belief and my standard of care for the people that I love, especially my little ones, is that emotional intelligence is the base for all success. Okay, for all success. And the more we care, love ourselves, and the higher of a standard that we hold for ourselves, the more secure you're going to be, confident you're going to be, and the more you're going to be like, yeah, man, bring that on, bring on that challenge. Yeah, I'm ready to learn that. I'm ready to learn that. Whatever the case is, confidence, man, confidence is key. So I created the program, and now we're opening a school because I literally could not find anything out there that met my standards. So that's my invitation to you guys. If you can't find something that meets your standards, rather than fighting, creating a lot of that negative toxic energy, make it, create it, right? Create it. Mark says, how much energy do we spend trying to meet other people's expectations? A lot. Scary. Absolutely. And that's another thing, right? Putting myself in my ex-husband's position is, man, that must have sucked. You know what I mean? That must have sucked. Trying to like meet my expectations. That must have really sucked. However, putting myself in my daughter's situation as well, trying so hard to meet my expectations, right? God, that sucks. That sucks. You feel like shit about yourself all the freaking time. But if more people were aware of this, and you're aware of this, and you take this and you use it, you're going to be modeling that success for others, right? And you just accept somebody else for who they are, the way they are, and then know your standards for your life and what you want to create in your life, and accept nothing less than that. That's going to create huge impact as well. Having standards for who you're with, the relationship you want to experience, the life you want to experience, the business you want to have, is the base for healthy boundaries, right? Healthy boundaries are key. So many of us don't have healthy boundaries. We allow people to, putting myself on the other, I look like the bad guy right now, but whatever, that's okay. But like you're placing that like he needed to put up some healthy boundaries with me, right? My daughter needed to put up some healthy boundaries with me. But by us putting up healthy boundaries, we're modeling that for our loved ones. And we're also modeling that for the people who, clients that we take on, the people who we're going to work with, our staff, or even our employers. If you're working in corporate, or if you're working at a job and you have employers, it is key that you create healthy boundaries. You don't allow anyone to mistreat you, right? Those are your standards. Those are your standards. So I hope you guys really grasped the difference between expectations and standards. I find that it was so key creating that, discovering that, making that change in my life, with my children, with my loved ones, with my future partners, with my friends and family. Family or not, these boundaries are practiced. Okay? So, but by changing that really impacted my business in a big, big way, because I'll say it again, my page keeps closing. Your business is a direct reflection of your energy. Okay, so what are you guys vibrating? What are you guys vibrating, and how does that impact your business? Pop into the chat box, let me know. I'm gonna drink my coffee. It's cold. but I'm going to wait for some responses. Okay. This is so important. Pop it into the chat box. Let's talk about this. So The War of Art. This is the book that I'm gifting someone today. Okay, so get participating. And what I'm going to ask you guys in order to get this book is this. What is the difference between expectations and standards? Okay, just reflect that back. What's the difference between expectations and standards? And I'm going to give this to you. Maybe share with me a quick personal little story in the chat box if you guys are that open. If you guys want to play the vulnerability game. You know what was cool this morning in Toastmasters? I said to them, I've been in here for 8 weeks and I feel like I know each of you guys on a very intimate level. And that's cool. That is really cool. So many people have the misconception that I don't want to be vulnerable because that means I'm weak. But the more vulnerable you are, the more that makes you stronger of a stronger person. And many of us have that misconception. So pop into the chat box. What is the difference between expectations and standard? And I'm going to hop on over here and explain my my program to you guys. So like I said, I run this Invest in Yourself course on, and it's a pretty awesome course. And here's why. It's designed to find out where you are in life, where you want to be, and how to get there. And yes, we're talking your business. Yes, we're talking your online business. It has 9 amazing modules. It has, exercises to find out exactly where you're at. Mastering habits. Remember those habits of thought that we've talked about in the past, like just earlier today, that we're not even aware of. I can't afford it. That's too much money. That's a ripoff. Okay. Fear, ego, and resistance and how that holds you back. The War of Art, it does an amazing job explaining that. The universal laws that you guys need to know about in order to really use the law of attraction. If you guys missed last week's webinar, I will post the YouTube link. The replay link is no longer available, but I'll give you guys the YouTube link. And I share with you guys the dirty little secret behind the law of attraction. It's actually, I loved last week's webinar. We talk about radical honesty, okay? And that's all about tapping into that unconscious that you kind of need somebody to hypnotically take you to. And it's really challenging to do on your own. Feminine and masculine energy, money mindset, creating your online business, time management, you name it. And guess what, guys? You know what's so unique about this killer program? Is that the majority of your success, like what we talked about today, has to do with that subconscious, that belief system. Because you could be working your ass off consciously, 5-10%, remember? Consciously on your business, and you're just beating your head up against the wall going, why? Why isn't this working? How come this isn't being, how come I cannot be successful? How come I can't make the money? What worked for me was that I went ahead and I hired somebody who specialized in that. And what happened was she would literally for 9 months straight, before I experienced any financial success in my business, well, not that long, probably about 6 months straight. Before I experienced any real financial success in my business, 6 months straight, if not a little bit longer, we worked on my subconscious beliefs, on my limiting beliefs, on everything that was preventing me from experiencing success. Because for the last how many years, I was studying this stuff, had the certifications, had the education, had all the core competency hours, all of it. I knew it all. But for some reason, it wasn't. I just couldn't tap into it and make it happen. So that's what we did. And that's why this program is so freaking awesome, is because you're going to go out there and you're going to be like, okay, this is what I want to create. This is the business I want to create, but I don't know why it's not working. Okay. So you get all of this in one. That's the cool thing about this program. Not only that, I've had clients who signed up 2 weeks later, literally 90% of her workshop, the people attended to her workshop, booked calls with her. 50% of them signed up for her programs, her high-end programs, 2 weeks after signing up. Okay, 2 weeks. I've had people, one of my clients is the creator of Tribe Meditation. Extremely successful businesswoman. She knew it all. She blows me out of the water when it comes to marketing. But there were those blocks that she needed to tap into, break through in order to just skyrocket. Okay. There's a ton of success stories in the Invest in Yourself course. Look at this. Okay. So we have Jamie. I know that I have not held myself to high enough standards in my health. Right. Does vulnerability stem from fear? Stem from fear, or the reason why we may be afraid to be vulnerable? Could you just clarify that, Carrie? Like, are we afraid to be vulnerable, or yes, just clarify that. And then I just want to make sure that I answer you correctly. Jamie, my expectations have been designed so high that small effort equals not important enough or not accomplishing enough. Wow. Okay. That's powerful, Jamie. The conflict between expectations and standards holds me down and suppresses my ability to just get off my ass and do something, anything. Expectations and standards. Wow. That might be something subconscious too, right? Self-sabotage is often subconscious. That's something that we can definitely chat about. Mark, like you said, peace begins when you stop trying to meet other people's expectations, as well as the expectations I have for myself, right? We're our biggest critics. We're going to criticize ourselves. We're going to say, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. That is all expectations, guys. Jamie, I believe when we have a drastic difference in our expectations and our standards spreads the knowing doing gap. Okay. Which chokes off your ability to make real change and real growth. Absolutely. I believe that when we have drastic differences in our expectations and our standards, it spreads. Okay. Awesome. Absolutely. Carrie, exactly. Are we just afraid to be vulnerable? Absolutely, we're afraid to be vulnerable. We're afraid to be vulnerable partially because society has taught us, programmed us to believe that you're a big boy now. You're a big girl now. Big girls don't cry. Big boys don't cry. Suck it up, princess. Suck it up, pumpkin. Being vulnerable is looked at as a negative thing. So when you're vulnerable, it means you're weak, period. It means you're not a man. My youngest is going to be 10 next week. And he's a crier. And what I've learned from Gordon Neufeld, okay, attachment parenting, is that we as parents and nurturers, we want to vulnerable. We want to nurture that soft heart, right? We want to nurture that soft heart. We don't want to harden it. We don't want to make them feel not good enough because they have this soft heart, these emotions. And what I've noticed about my little man is that he is angry and he is so soft. He goes both ways on the spectrum. And my job as his mom is to support him in whatever feelings that he's having and maybe learn to manage them a little bit better. But not to say, listen, you're going to be 10. You need to stop that crying. You need to stop that, blah, 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 right? So then we become afraid of being vulnerable. And being vulnerable and able to express feelings and able to feel empathy, feel for other people is such a secret to enjoying life. It's so cool. And I'm just going to give a huge shout out to everybody in my Toastmasters this morning who were vulnerable and cried and shared such intimate details that would make another person feel uncomfortable. But that was them being vulnerable and creating attachment. Brene Brown's TED Talk, The Power of Vulnerability. Brene Brown is amazing. I was so bummed that I couldn't go see her when she came here. But Brene Brown is basically like a vulnerability expert. You guys want to research her. And yeah, she's just brilliant. So the difference between expectations and, hold on, expectations and standards. Okay, there you go. Jamie was the first one who shared. So Jamie, you've got a book. I'm going to send this. So PM me and give me your address and I will mail this to your door, okay? I want to celebrate each and every one of you guys for showing up. We got a couple minutes left. So if you guys want any of your questions answered, pop it into the chat box. I will answer your questions. As for now, remember this, okay? Please remember this. 90% of your success is showing up. When I showed up to Toastmasters, I didn't know what the hell I was showing up for. I just honored that little piece of intuition that said, yeah, I'll go check it out. Yeah, I'll go check it out. Amazing, amazing connections, amazing people. When I honored my little intuition, I'll go check out that dinner for like Nucerity, right? Honored that little piece of intuition, amazing connections, amazing people, loving it. Absolutely loving the people that I'm meeting and surrounding myself with. Jamie, missing today's Toastmasters seems like a big miss for me. Learning to be more vulnerable from that group would have been invaluable. Absolutely. But again, there's a reason for everything, right? Like there's absolutely. You will absolutely connect again and put yourself into that situation again. That's another cool thing, eh? That a lot of us don't. I just totally showed I was Canadian. That's a lot of, you know, when you're presented with an opportunity, always say yes. Always say yes. However, if you quote unquote miss that opportunity, all right, or if something happens and you don't make it, instead of kicking yourself in the ass for it, guess what? The universe, God, divinity is going to place another opportunity for you. So don't fret, okay? That's a really useful piece of information that was provided to me years ago that really helped me in releasing blame and guilt for why I didn't do something or I should have done something, you know, and so on and so forth. So I love you guys all. We're actually right on time today. Yay, sleep, Jamie says. Absolutely. Go, if you guys haven't already, hop on over, book your free call, guys. It is a free call. If you guys have been on the fence, if you're curious about signing up for the program, book your call. Let's talk about whether or not we're a good fit. Like if you missed last week's webinar, go back to last week's webinar. There's no bullying in this. If we work well together, then we work well together. The worst thing that's going to happen is that you're going to come out of there with some valuable, stimulating information. Everybody that I've talked to on the calls message me later and say, oh, still vibrating, still vibrating. So you're definitely going to walk out there with some great information. And the best thing that's going to happen is that you're like, hell yeah, sign me up. Let's skyrocket. Let's make my life happen, period. So, and you can go to investinyourselfcourse.com. I'll just pop it in one more time here. Selfcourse.com and click on the apply button, okay? I love you guys all. Thank you again for always showing up. I am so honored to connect with you guys each and every single week. Like honestly, my heart floods with, I'm so honored that you guys show up. So because this information is near and dear to me, and to be able to connect with other people who find it the same, like who find meaning in it, is indescribable. Like I can't even describe it. So I'm celebrating you guys, and I'm celebrating our connection, and show up again next week. I haven't decided. I'm talking with my business coach today, and I'm like, you know what? I want to do the most powerful video, like webinar next week. So I'll announce later on this week what it's going to be. Take care. Enjoy the July long weekend. I'm going to be out in Grand Beach at Boss Burger, and I might do a song or two. So if you guys are out there, message me. Let's connect. I'd love to see you face to face. Take care, guys. Have an amazing holiday. Bye.